very important to everybody across any political spectrum. And anything that we do is going to be questioned as biased. So yes, working with Congress is going to be the best way to do it.
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman. I think that the administration should move forward. I should move forward. I will tell you, as a safety and soundness regulator, when I look at a $3 trillion institution that is leveraged 1,000 to 1, it keeps me up at night. So my focus is fixing that.
Well, thank you, and I'll answer that same question back to you. I also believe that while it's the proper role for Congress to solve this, and that only Congress can give the comprehensive solution that is needed, there are significant reforms that can be accomplished and can help actually move us in the direction of the reform that I've outlined in my outline and that I believe we need to achieve here in Congress. And I encourage you to act and to help us to get to that point. In that context, and this question really is probably more specifically to Treasury and HUD, I'd like you to talk a little bit about what the next steps that can be taken should be. And in that, again, in that context, it seems to me that a couple of the important ones that I've identified in your reports and in the discussion are capital and amending the PSPAs. But whatever your answer to the question is, what do you believe we should start seeing prompt action on?
So our priority is to make sure that the GSEs have more capital. We are in active discussions with the director and the FHFA about renegotiating our agreements with them, which would allow for removing the net worth sweeps so that we would allow a significant amount of capital be accumulated, but in return for that, make sure that the taxpayers are compensated for the ongoing Treasury support. And that is something that the director and I hope to achieve very quickly.
Secretary Carson.
I think the most important things are obviously refocusing Ginnie Mae and FHA on our primary mission, which is providing the opportunities for capital and credit to be extended to non-traditional markets. Also providing the tools to these two entities that are necessary to deal with the various risks associated with management, providing liquidity to the world's largest financial market, and protecting the taxpayers. That's really what a lot of this is all about, and what happened the last time around should never be allowed to happen again.
Thank you. And in my last 30 seconds, I didn't mean to leave you out, Director. You've got a major role here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Absolutely, my primary focus at first is going to be trying to build capital, but also trying to make sure that FHFA as an agency is ready for a post-conservatorship world in terms of our supervision function, in terms of the powers we have, and in the terms of powers we may ask you that we may need.
All right, thank you. I made it with 10 seconds to go, Senator Brown.
I probably won't, Mr. Secretary. Thank you. Secretary Mnuchin, Secretary Carson. Presidential memorandum that directed your agencies to complete the plans we discussed today said those plans were to be submitted to the President for his approval. Question to the two of you, has the President approved your plan? Secretary?
We have briefed the President, and he has accepted the plans.
He has approved it?
Well, I believe
he's accepted, approved? Let me ask the question. Has he approved the plan, yes or no?
I don't know if he explicitly approved the plan. We'll get back that to you.
Secretary Carson.
We briefed the President, and he accepted the plans.
So you handed it to him, and he said, thank you for the plan. Okay.
No, not we handed it to him. We briefed him. Okay. The Secretary and I went through and extensively briefed him.
Okay, I get it. Secretary Carson?
I agree.
Okay. So is it possible he didn't approve the plan because he and his in-depth knowledge of finance and all things government knows they'll make mortgages more expensive and harder to get? Perhaps. I just, you know, if the GSEs and FHA cut out their most profitable lines of business and still have to cover their cost, they'll have to raise rates on the borrowers who are left. I mean, that's clear. It seems to me that you can't come here and say the President approved the plan, even though he wanted the whole process would be so that he approved it, because the whole argument comes down to trust Wall Street. Just trust Wall Street doesn't really work these days. We should know. Let me, Secretary Mnuchin, The majority of new households formed between now and 2030 will be headed by people of color. We already have a 30-point gap in homeownership between black and white households, a 25+% gap between Hispanic and non-Hispanic white households. This isn't mentioned in either of these plans. In your press release, you said the Treasury Department met with a wide range of stakeholders, including affordable housing advocates, unquote. How does your plan